What little campaigning independent candidates were allowed to conduct is over. For the first time in 20 years, Myanmar has gone to the polls, but under a framework designed to keep the incumbents in power.
This election is, not the election, not the type of the election, which we are dreaming for the last 20 years.
40,000 polling stations around the nation opened at 6 in the morning. In the largest city, Yangon, voters trickled in, watched on by a handful of security officers. The actual voter turnout may never be known, but many Burmese felt apathetic about the election because they believed it wouldn't change anything in the military-run country. As people went about their normal Sunday routines, they knew their votes would not change the constitutional law reserving a quarter of all seats in Parliament for the generals. Almost all of the remainder will be occupied by the two junta-backed parties, one of which had been accused of coercing votes from citizens in the run-up to Sunday. Despite the obstacles, some independents felt compelled to run, to fight for the simple things for Burmese people who have struggled under a military dictatorship.
The majority of people, they are, asking for the more income. They are asking for the lower food price.
20 years ago, a party known as the National League for Democracy won the election in a landslide. But the military never allowed it to take over, and its leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, has been under house arrest for most of the last 2 decades. Her party is now banned after deciding not to stand in the election, and she called on all Burmese to boycott the vote. The European Union says it would consider lifting economic sanctions against the new government if Suu Kyi and more than 2,000 other political prisoners are released.
Clearly, we will have to wait and see what happens after the elections, and then we will wait and see when the new government is formed, how it is formed, and then we will have to judge the new government on its policies and actions.
The nation's rulers said the election is a key step on the roadmap to democracy. But for many, the step isn't big enough. AlJazeera, Yangon, Myanmar.